guys, it's Bro You Whack, and good news guys, Lifeweaver is finally getting another buff. Yeah, he's already getting his second one. Can you believe that? So when Season 4 dropped, Lifeweaver already got a buff, and they buffed the charge time to his healing flower. But now Aaron Killer went onto Twitter and said that they are going to be looking into Lifeweaver's data and seeing if they can try to rework his controller settings, but also try to buff him sometime this week. And Aaron Killer, am I going to do your job for you? Because I'm going to make a video today talking about how we can change Lifeweaver for the better. But as always, I want you to comment down below what you want to see done to Lifeweaver, because in all reality, and maybe this is just my opinion, but hey, he's already getting 2 buffs, so I think it's a pretty much shared opinion that Lifeweaver is the worst support hero in Overwatch 2 right now. So let's make him better. The first thing that just has to change is his healing flower, and I have 2 issues when it comes to his healing flower. The first is that it barely does any healing, but the second is that it is just so boring to use. I understand that Lifeweaver is forever gonna be a secondary healer. He shouldn't have 150 heals per flower, so it's not like we should buff how much heals he gives to his teammates, even though that'd be nice, but rather what we could do is buff the charge time to his healing flower again. I especially feel the lack of heals, but especially that long charge time whenever my tank or an aggressive DPS is going and just doing their job, like a Ramatra or a Winston, and especially when I don't have my life grip to support my tank, the healing flower just is not enough. And if I have another secondary healer like a Brigitte, which is super popular right now, yeah, it's gonna be tough to play as Lifeweaver if I'm spending half the time charging up this dinky little flower. Right now the charge time is 1 second. Previously is 1.2 seconds, so even that buff wasn't enough. So changing it to like 0.8 or maybe even 0.7 seconds, I think not only will it make it a better healing ability, but also just make it a lot more fun because you're not spending most of the game charging. But that's not all that I want to do. No. Again, the goal was to not only buff the healing flower, but also make it a lot more fun, because right now Lifeweaver is resident sleeper. So another change is that I want to remove the movement speed penalty that you get whenever you're charging his healing flower. Not only is having a penalty to movement kind of lame, but also whenever your team is being aggressive, and if you're spent charging that flower and they're out of your range, you're gonna just sit there with your PP in your hand wondering, okay, is my Genji gonna come back? Oh no? Okay, well I gotta keep this flower charged because it takes such a long time to charge it back up again that I don't want to leave it. So if we just remove the speed penalty, maybe more people will be incentivized to charge up, and we don't have to deal with Lifeweaver just having their PP in their hands. But a third change, whether it's additionally tacked on to these changes or just a change in itself, is that I want to see Lifeweaver's flower charge be kept whenever he switches to his thorns. While this might be a more quality of life change, I do think this is actually very important to add to Lifeweaver, because it kind of forces the player not to switch to his thorns and do DPS, say if a tracer is hard focusing them, because they don't want to lose this flower that takes such a long time to charge. So if they buff the charge time but also have this quality of life change, I feel like that fixes a lot of problems with Lifeweaver initially. But I'll be honest, every single Lifeweaver ability can be buffed or changed in one way, shape, or another to make him a better hero. First starting off with his life grip ability. This is the main reason why you play Lifeweaver, because he doesn't give a lot of heals compared to a primary healer, and he doesn't do that much DPS compared to a secondary healer, but nobody else can actively pull your allies. So here's a buff idea that I think everybody can get behind. If your ally uses a movement ability, say a Winston jump, when you're using your life grip and it cancels out your life grip, it refunds your life grip ability. It doesn't make you go through that long cooldown because you were just trying to help your ally, but because they were also trying to help themselves escape out of a situation, you as Lifeweaver get punished for that. You can blame miscommunication, like, oh, that Lifeweaver should have told that Winston that he was going to use his life grip to pull him, that he shouldn't use his jump ability. But when it's split-second reaction time and when it's life or death, that Winston might not trust their rando Lifeweaver to pull them, so what they're going to do is use the abilities that they have available to themselves. Now, I understand the potential abuse that players could do with this life grip ability, because all you really have to do to have infinite immortality bubbles for even just that half a second is to tell your Lifeweaver, okay, I'm Doofus, I'm gonna punch in, but do it as soon as I'm going in when I'm punching, and then boom, you get infinite life grip bubbles. But then reality kicks in and be like, how many people would actually try to abuse that? But I still want to recognize the potential for that. So if we don't like that buff, the other buff that is just plain and simple is to lower the cooldown to his life grip. Again, this is the most unique part about Lifeweaver. This is the reason why you play Lifeweaver, and it's been a week at this point. I think people are done trying to troll with their life grip, and I don't think lowering the cooldown will influence a lot of people to try to troll even more. I'm not talking about lowering it by like 5 seconds, but just by a couple of seconds, like maybe 1 or 2 seconds. So next, let's talk about his pedal platform. Now, my biggest issue is a me problem. I'll fully admit it, because I'm not really using the pedal platform all that much, but it's because I don't have teammates to coordinate with this very unique ability that can allow you to get to advantageous spot, whether it's a Widow or Cole Cassidy High Noon, whatever the case may be. But I do have a change for his pedal platform, and that's to keep the healing charge to your primary heal active whenever you're throwing your pedal platform. If you charge up your flower, then throw your pedal platform, it resets your charge. That's annoying, that is stupid. Keep your charge to your flower while throwing your pedal platform, please. Next, let's talk about his Rejuvenating Dash ability. Now, this is a change that I 100% need to see in the next update. Make it exactly like Hanzo's Leap. Bind it to Lifeweaver's jump, where you gotta double jump the spacebar or the A button, because having this be a separate ability is probably the stupidest thing that I've ever seen. It makes his control scheme way too messy, way too convoluted, and you're having to rebind it to the point where it's one of the weirdest control setup of all time, both on PC and console, especially console, where you have limited button space. At least on PC, you can have side buttons on the mouse to use some of his abilities. And while we're talking about controller setup, why don't we actually make the same button that you throw the pedal platform be the same button that you cancel or destroy? But the final thing that I want to see done to Lifeweaver that might be a little bit more controversial, but I have my reasons, is to his tree ultimate. The initial heal that you get from your tree has got to be more. Right now, you get 150 initial heal when you plant it, and then every 8 seconds, you get an additional 50. It's just not enough, man. And compared to other secondary healers ultimate, like a Zenyatta or a Lucio, shoot, I'll even take a Brigitte ultimate, it's just not all that valuable, especially considering the fact that you're able to destroy it as well. So here's the idea that I think can be done to try to buff his tree ultimate, and it's giving more in an initial heal when you plant the tree. See, the biggest issue that I have with the tree is that it can be destroyed. Yes, it has 1,000 heals, but it's not gonna last the full duration. So if we're gonna get the most value at the beginning, then why don't you have the most value at the initial plant? Make it worth my time to play Lifeweaver and plant the tree versus playing something like Zenyatta, where yeah, you can throw an anti-grenade and counter the Zenyatta ult, and yeah, you can kill Lucio and Brigitte, but at least the initial ult of those heroes is way more valuable than the tree that Lifeweaver plants. If we can give an initial like 250 or shoot even 300, then that can not only save a squishy, but that can also save a tank. Now, when it comes to the 8-second 50 heals, I think that could maybe stay the same if we're giving more of an initial heal, but I want the ultimate to feel like an ultimate. I want it to feel like, oh my god, this is why I'm playing Lifeweaver. And see, that's my biggest problem when playing Lifeweaver, is that he just doesn't really have that moment. He's not all that fun to play. He's not really a hero that I think could be a better healer compared to other secondary or primary healers, but on top of that, his controller setup is just so messy, bro, and there needs to be so much done to him to make him feel not only more comfortable to play, but just overall better to play. And I think after this video, any of these changes would be beneficial to Lifeweaver, especially that dash, bro. Like, that dash needs to be bounded to his jump. But let me know what you think about these Lifeweaver changes if you want to see them implemented, and until then, hopefully it can get done sooner rather than later. But I love you guys, thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch 2 videos to come, and bye.